Okay, Baruch Hashem. Happy Hanukkah. 8th day of Hanukkah. We're learning Torah Ches Tikut Techecho. That's the last Torah that Rabbeinu Kodesh said during his lifetime. We have explained that there is this type of voice, which is the voice that waters the garden. And that particular garden, the scene of Gan Eden, this is where all the smells and all the yira, they all grow there. That particular smell is the food of the neshama, the sustenance of the neshama. And when the neshama food, when the soul food is being supplied, that diminishes the physical food, the physical sustenance. Whereas the gashmius, that's the thing when a person's ruchnius is being fed, it pushes down the gashmius aspect of that particular person. And the mochiach, the admonisher, the proper person who needs to call people to order, call people to, to lead them to the way to Kodesh Baruch Hu, needs this kind of voice. It's a voice that is a bechina of Kvinar, Yoitzim, and Eden, and river comes out of Eden and waters the garden. The source is Eden. Different Torahs, Rabbeinu calls it Pnei HaMenorah or Aponim. Many different places we're using different names for this particular madriga. This is the light of Ein Sof, the light of Kodesh Baruch Hu that enters reality. It is the source of everything. It is the source of all goodness, of all pleasure. And it comes into this world in order to feed all the neshamas and bring the neshamas closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Now, this world is built with an inbuilt hastara. That's the way the world is built. When a person is being corrected and admonished, it has to be done in a way that brings him closer, not in a way that pushes him away. In order for that to happen, the voice, the quality of the voice of the Mochiach HaRoi has to be in a way that you can stand, you can eat also. Don't worry. Okay, whatever is comfortable for you. The Mochiach needs to have this kind of voice that will let people know what they're doing wrong, but doing in a way that will strengthen them, to bring them closer, not in a way that will push them away. This principle is stressed by Rabbeinu in quite a few places, especially in Torah of Beis, The Rebbe says that the tzaddikim, or the Likutey Hashem, are the ones that need Kadosh Baruch Hu, aids, as it were, advisory services. And their job is to go and admonish and bring the people closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And they are sitting together with the Kodesh, conferring with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells them that there's a deen in the world, a deen Torah in the world. There's a deen. Why there's a deen? Because when the world was created for a purpose, for people to reach their purpose. Now, when somebody is moving towards a purpose, there's to be a mechanism that if a person strays, it'll push him back to the straight and narrow. If he strays away in a severe way, the correction has to be equally dramatic. This is called din. It comes down up to the point where in the Malchus, the spheres of Malchus, that din is called Tchelis. Tchelis has two meanings. It has a meaning of the tachlis. That's the goal of everything. What's the tachlis of it? What's the end game here? Where are you going? And the Zohar says tchelis. Why is it called tchelis? It says de'achli kol v'shatzik kol. It consumes everything and it makes and destroys everything. In other words, tchelis is that kind of ability that the Malchus has. That's the guiding force, the thing that runs things in this world, to put an end to shenanigans, to cut stories short. It's like a police force. Police have guns, The whole idea of the police having guns is not, to be the sheriff around town, and show everybody how mighty they are. Yeah, is that, if there is, forces that cause mayhem, the role of the police is to put a stop to this. And for this, they have guns. That's a tchelis. The tchelis is something that it has in place. What's the tachlis? The tachlis is in the society, there should be peace, should be order, should be whatever it is that the kavana is. And they have the kind of tools and means to prevent people, even by force, even with violence, from preventing that particular goal from being achieved. That's the tchelis. But that's the union of din. This is what the din exists for. However, the din is a funny, not funny, but it's it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it is necessary in order to bring the people, to order. So the tachlis, which is closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu, can be achieved. On the other hand, a person is not ready for the din can become a din kosher, a harsh judgment. A harsh judgment has the effect of not only not bringing closer the person to the tachlis, but actually pushing away from the tachlis. Father with a child. The child does something. No, a child is a wild bronco. You have to put limitations. You have to put boundaries. So the child will know how to behave according to those boundaries. A person caught a child lying. that automatically brings about a din. Now, if it's a din kosher, if it's a hard din, the child will say to the child, "You're a liar. That's not true. That is a lie. You're a bad boy. You're a liar." That is not going to make the child into a truth sayer. It'll just make him hide his lying more effectively. That's all we're going to do. It's a din that pushes away. That's called din kosher. On the other hand, if the father says to his son, "No, that's not right. You said a lie." No, never lied. You lied. No, we don't lie. You're a tzaddik. You're a tzaddik of a child. Listen, you're a child. Things, can get difficult. But nevertheless, we don't lie. And you're the tzaddik. It doesn't befit you to lie. Just think about it. I trust you. You'll get around to that. I know that sometimes lie is like the easiest way out. But it's just, at the end, it only, it works against you. If it happens to be true that you don't lie, your child, instead of feeling that he is a villain, will get this pride of belonging to, I belong to this unit, this army that does not lie. We don't lie. That's cool. Here, the din is din Torah. So Rabbeinu says in Torah Chav Beis. Here, the din brings the person close. So Rabbeinu says here that the moichiach, the admonisher, has to have in his voice that quality which will add a good smell, a mezoina de nishmasa, a sustenance of the soul, to the people who are hearing, the admonishment, and bring them closer. The kol Yaakov, which also possibly explains, Pashas Vayetze, Yaakov Avinu goes out of Eretz Yisrael, and he gets to Haran, and he gets to the well, and the shepherds with the flocks are there. There's a big stone on top of the well. And he asked them, "Where are you? You're from Haran. Do you know love?" And yes, we know. He is Rachel coming, whatever. Yaakov Avinu says, why are you loafing around here? That's not the time for the flocks to be gathered. Why don't you just, water your flocks and go ahead and go, take them grazing. So comes a question. Excuse me, who the heck are you? Coming to tell us what to do. We don't know you. Are you our boss? What's wrong with you, man? You want to show us something? You want a taste of this knuckle sandwich? They don't do any of that. He said, "Listen, we can't do that because the stone is too big. We wait until all the shepherds come and then we take it off." How come they're being so nice to him? I mean, you and I would tell him, "Who the heck are you? You tell us what to do. You what army?" I mean, what's going on? But the answer is that just before he came, Yitzchak Avinu told him, "Kol Yaakov, v'yadayim midei Esav." Yaakov Avinu was zoicha to the Kol Yaakov. In his voice already, he was zoicha to Kol Yaakov, which is the call of the proper admonisher. And when he says to somebody, "You're not doing what you're supposed to do," not only it doesn't make them feel bad about themselves, but they feel that much better about themselves. That's why Yaakov is ish emes. When Yaakov sees something which is wrong, Yaakov points it out. Then emes Yaakov. Yaakov, he says, listen, this is loafing around. This is not Yosha. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So it's his nature to say, to point it out and says, hey, time out. That's the wrong thing to do. But he's to call Yaakov. So Mimele, when he tells it to them, he makes them feel wonderful about themselves. He makes them feel like they're trusted, they're trustworthy. They're trusted by the owners of the flocks, and they're trustworthy. Like, shouldn't this be? So they say, you're right, but there's the technical problem over here. We can't move the stone. Okay, so we move the stone. Now Rabbeinu starts explaining how one acquires that call. We have to understand a little bit. I mean, when I gave you all these examples now, I basically said what words cause a person to be offended by the criticism, and what words can cause a person, to make it a constructive criticism, something which is easier to take. Rabbeinu, however, points out it's not the words, it's the voice. So it's possible to understand when we understand the very same words said in different tone of voice sound very, very differently. It's like, wow, where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Or where were you? Same words, different voice, different tone, totally different meaning. And where were you? Hmm? So you can already understand, that there's behind the words, there's a call. Rabbeinu explains that the call that we're talking about, this call Yaakov, this is the Shir Chodesh. That's the new song that will enter reality. Lost loving. That particular song, so why do we need a new song? Don't we have enough songs? We have 150 psalms, Tanahara, with all kinds of songs that you want. Names Mirat Yisrael, Levin HaMelech, the master violin, master musician. Why do you need a new song? Because what is a song? What is a hallel? Chanukah, right? What is a song? What is a hallel? What is a praise? A praise is when the thanking is not just, okay, I did you a favor, thank you. The kind of life that we live in this world with the thank you, it's a rather uncomfortable existence. When somebody does you a favor, you say, thank you. Wow, this is really nice. Thank you. It's over. I'm supposed to go say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, my life, I'm supposed to thank and thank and thank and thank and thank nonstop. But the point is that the deeper you get, the deeper the favor, the more fundamental the thank you. If somebody does something to you that you feel that you initially deserve, okay, how do you think you sound like? Thank you. You know, I get on the bus. If somebody gets up, thank you. In other words, you should get up. Thank you for getting up. What happened if the person wouldn't get up? Well, depends on chutzpahdik I am. Thank you for sitting down. No. Anyhow, the point is that the less I realize the favor that I'm done, the more perfunctory and curt and short is the thanks. Thank you. Finish. Like, you get on a plane, it says, please take your seats and straighten up your seat. Thank you. Like, they're really thanking you. You're supposed to listen to us, bum. Thank you. Why don't they say, thank you for putting the backs of your seats up. We so appreciate it. You're so great. You're unbelievable presence. They never said that. Because you're supposed to listen. We're saying thank you just to be, quote unquote, polite. Well, we don't mean it. But when somebody saves your life, the thank you is like effusive, it's heartfelt. At a certain point in time, the thank you becomes so profound and so great, it becomes a praise, it becomes a hallel. A person that saves your life on a daily basis, he makes your life, and in a situation where you realize he's a stranger, he doesn't owe you anything, yet he's smiling to you, he's sensitive to your needs, he's sensitive to the fact that you really don't feel comfortable being on the receiving side all the time. It's pretty embarrassing. But he's doing it in such a way that it's obviously called Messias Reish. In other words, it makes you feel important. It makes you feel as if you're part of the process. It's like a poor person goes to a rich person to ask him for money, okay? Everybody knows who the poor person is, who the rich person is. It's very obvious. They both know it. So the poor person knocks on the door. On this side of the spectrum, they don't even open the door. A little bit more to the right, they say, yeah, is Mr. So-and-so home? No, he's resting now. Please come after 4 o'clock. Okay, a little bit more to the right, more to the chesed. Yes. I'm looking for money. I'm waiting for money. Okay, just hold on for a minute. Here you go. Go to the door. A little more to the right. He comes in and says, yeah. He's looking at him. Wow. Come in. Come in. Sit down. Tell me about it. Listen, this and that. The story is as follows, and so on and so on. Wow. Okay. Here's a check. Or more to the chesed. Person comes in, says, come in, tell me about it, tell me the story, because part of listening to the story is part of the chesed. It says anybody that gives a pruta to the poor person gets blessed with 7 brachas, right? Anybody who makes a poor person feel good about himself, and faisai, gets 12 brachas. How much more? But nevertheless, throughout this process, it's still very, very clear who is the giver and who is the receiver. Be nice about it. But if you really want to do a chesed with a rich man, I want to do a chesed with a poor man, opens the door, the poor man, you see the poor man there, he says, you are just the person I need to. I need to ask you something. Come on in. You want to drink something? You want to eat something? Listen, I have a question. I'm cognizant. I don't know what to do. I need your answer. Okay. And here goes the rich person. He says, listen, this and that. And, my daughter is, I'm having some chinuch problems with her, and I really don't know what to do, and I know that you're a wise person. What would you suggest? The poor person still knows that he's a poor person. The rich person still knows that he's a rich person. But first of all, the poor person feels valuable, right? Here, the rich person needs his help. Wow. They're not exactly equal, but the feeling is that the poor person feels really comfortable, right? I'm useful. I didn't just come to take, I'm giving. And it happens again and again and again. Now, assuming the poor person is not a total fool, it realizes there is a certain kind of edelkeit by the rich person. That he keeps on doing him favors, and makes him feel wanted and cherished. What will that poor person say about this rich person? He will sing his praises, wouldn't he? I mean, that guy, he's a doll. It's unbelievable what me does, especially because he has all this money. So easy to be such a bulvan with all the money that you have, And this guy is like, the thanks becomes hollow, becomes praise. We sing to Kadosh Baruch Hu, we praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu in direct relationship to how much we appreciate the Kadosh Baruch Hu's generosity, his largesse, his kindness, his humbleness. This is called Messias Rosh. Messias Rosh Bnei Yisrael. Make them feel special when you give them. A song is when you are so full of admiration about this guy that you write a song about him. Because you realize the immensity of the chesed, of the kindness, that you make a song out of it. All the shiros and tishbachos that we sing in this world are a teitzah of how closely and intimately we realize the grandeur, the kindness, the humility, the generosity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us at all times. But that is within creation. During the Astara, it's difficult to see. Because if we were to know more, we'll have no choice anymore. The Malachim sing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu not because it is incumbent upon them and they have an officer upon them, which they do, with a whip in his hand, which he does not have. And if you dare be late for your watch to sing, praise the Kodesh Baruch Hu, woe to you. That's not what happened. The Malachim realize the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu. They don't have a choice. Choice was taken away from them. As a result, they recognize openly the greatness and the grandeur and the humility and the gitzkeit, the endless gitzkeit and rachmanis Kodesh Baruch Hu has, that the most natural thing happens to them. They start singing to him. They start singing his praises. And they all want to sing their praises. It has to be in order. Mishmaras Malachim, who sings this, who sings that. Everything with tremendous admiration because they see it. You see, I don't know, if you have an artist or an author or whatever it is that you really admire. I don't know. And the pleasure that you get from this artist, this musician, this author, or whatever it is that might be, is so great that you, quote unquote, sing his praises. You know what I'm talking about? This guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. L'Asid Lavoi, because Baruch is going to be revealed to us without the tzimtzum of this world. We'll have the kind of direct connection with him that all the songs that we sing in this world are nothing because they are derived from whatever it is that we can actually see and observe in this world within, the limitations of this world. But also, these limitations are going to be taken away. Though the songs that we have now are going to be woefully inadequate. A new song has to come. That new song is a song that is totally built and played and composed on chesed. It's all about chesed Kodesh Baruch Hu. And it's called Shir Pashut Koful Mishulosh Meruba, as we say. Pashut is Yud, Koful is Yud K, Mishul is Yud K Vav, Meruba is Yud K Vav K. When you spell the 10 letters of Yud Vav Dalet, K Yud, Vav Yud Vav, K Yud. You have the S, the 10 letters, these are the 10 spheres, which we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Altogether, it comes out to 72. Gematria 72 is Gematria of Chesed. In other words, we will recognize the Chesed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu towards us so openly. We'll have a song. The song that we will sing then will be an automatic reaction that we will have when we will stand face to face with the Chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, Al Pi Mosh, Al Pi Remez, they say that the song that will become L'Asid Lavoi will be played on a violin of 10 strings. Is the 10 letters of Shem Havaya B'Milui. And, and each string is going to be woven out of 72 strands, 72 is Mi and Chesed. The whole song will be an emanation, an expression of realizing the tremendous chesed, the kindness, the grandeur the Kodesh Baruch Hu is giving us. The essence of all the teichacha, all the criticism that we are giving in this world has to have that quality in there. The total chesed, complete chesed, nothing but chesed, nothing but goodness. That's the kol. It comes from the gun, comes from the chesed, from Adam. I'm sorry, it comes from the total open chesed Kodesh Baruch Hu. The voice itself is chesed within chesed within chesed. Okay, how do you get it? That's what Rabbeinu says. Now, once the Rebbe says tefillah, he says, okay, well, just ask for tefillah and finish. Now, right now we are starting a new mahalach. At the very end, we'll understand how you zoichet tefillah, how the tefillah actually gets you to this bechina of kol. Rabbeinu says, what is tefillah? The main tefillah is rachamim v'tachanunim. Tefillah is rachmanis. Tefillah is supplication, is begging. Because the main rachamim has to do with the das. As it is said, about the future. Nobody will perform any bad or any destructive actions in the entirety of the mountain of my sanctity, my holiness. Why? Everybody will behave like goody two shoes. Why? Because the comprehension will fill the earth to such an extent, like water filling the sea. In the future, the das will be so great. There will be no damage, no cruelty anymore. Because Rachmanis will be so prevalent. Their das, it's a function of how much das you have. The more das you have, real das, the more Rachmanis you have. Because the main rachamim has to do with das. Now we many times make a mistake between das, real das, which is the provider of rachamim, and intelligence. Intelligence is not das. There are many intellectual idiots. They use their intelligence not to have Rahmanis on others. They use their Rahman, they use their intelligence to further their own interest. You just had, this testimony in Congress, right? The presidents of the biggest universities in America, most prestigious, Harvard, whatever. Very intelligent people, very educated people. They asked them, it's advocating a genocide of Jewish people because it's against the laws of university. None of them could say yes. It is Depends on the context. It depends on the context. It's okay in your university to advocate the genocide of Jewish people. Well, it depends if it goes into action. Yeah. What do you think they would have answered if they would ask, tell me, is it against the policy of your university to advocate the genocide of Black people? How quickly do you think that you would have said yes? On the spot. When it comes to Jewish people, well, it could be. That's not das. This is what Rabbeinu says. When the Sitra Achra is yoinik from the das, it poisons the Rachmanas. Their Rachmanas becomes achzorius. Like now. They want a ceasefire to stop the fighting in Gaza. Why? Because there are people getting killed. Do you care about those people? Let's say they do. But you saw what happened. You saw what preceded this. If you stop the fighting now, what's going to happen? The whole thing is going to happen all over again. It's said flat out. But we have Rahmanas. We have Rahmanas, we have to stop it right now. Because we can't see it, we can't see the sight of blood. Really. Amazing. This Rabbana says, V'lifamim shasitra achra, the side of the tumah, Yenekes min Rachmanas, it sucks from the Rachmanas. It masquerades as Rachmanas. Azai memshechim le'atzman Rachmanas. They pull the Rachmanas to them. V'azai nisma'et Rachmanas etzleinu. Rachmanas ba'as gets diminished. We also say, hey, what about the poor Gazans over there? What about, what do you say that? What do you say that? Even the little Rachman that is left is B'chinas Achzorus. This is also cruelty. You can see it right now. You can see it right now. These poor families, but they have their families, there in captivity. Hashem will bring out, Hashem soon. What do they want? What you can't say, you can't judge the family. You can't judge the family. But what do you want? What do you really want? Would you be happy if everybody will be given back and Hamas will continue to live for another day and to do the same thing all over again? Well, that's not our problem. That's a problem. Whose problem is it? The little Rachmanas that is left by us also becomes Achzorius. You can't judge anyone. You see how complex because the Sitra Achra was joining from the Rachmanas. A false Rachmanas, which propagates cruelty, never-ending cruelty. And that's what Rabbeinu, because they are sucking from the Rachmanas, they latch onto the Rachmanas. The Rachmanas gets corrupted and becomes cruelty. As in the pasuk, Rachamei Reshoim Achzori, the Rachmanas of the Reshoim is cruelty. That's the little Rachmanas that still remain by us is also corrupted. Because they suck from the Rachmanas. The notion of what Rachmanas is poisons the Rachmanas until it becomes Achzorius, Chas v'Shalom. B'ezrat Hashem, we have now, tonight is the 8th night of Hanukkah. We lit the 8 candles. This is a time of Halal V'Idah. That's what the time is now. We're smack in the middle of a time where the Rachmanis and Achzorius, cruelty and mercy, are so intermixed. And the cruel are betting on Rachmanis, false Rachmanis. Rachmanis was really cruelty in order to get us to commit suicide. That's exactly what they're doing. All in the name of Rachmanis. That Hashem, Kodesh Baruch should help us, that we will seek B'ezrat Hashem to get to Halal Haidoev to Kodesh Baruch Hu. It is very difficult in this life because our lives are, be'astor shebetoch astor. We can't see anything. We know when somebody overtly gives us something, we say thank you. We take the thanks of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for granted on a daily basis. But there's a secret in there. And the secret is, what the Rebbe says, that the Inyan Ikar Rachmanis is this call comes from the Tefillah. We have to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though we really don't understand what it is we actually mean, that we should be able to live a life that is guided to and predicated on the final goal of singing and praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right now, I'm happy if I'm comfortable. Happy if I have food on the table. I have my family members I have. It's tremendous. But when we take a look at life like that, life is what life is really is. It's just a conglomeration of troubles being solved, needs being met. That's it. We are all the time, we're guilty. We're chayav, we're obligated. I mean, before Shachris in the morning, we're guilty. We daven, okay, we're not guilty anymore. Get to Mincha, the daven, I'm guilty. Daven Mincha, okay, I'm no longer guilty. Marev, okay. Shabbos, Yom, whatever. Because of the story in this world, we are locked in this idea of like, we just want to, okay, we have a problem, we need to solve it. We have guilty, we want to stop feeling guilty. But beyond that, the Iker Tachlis is the realization of the Chesed, to such a degree that we are singing, that thinking is the Tachlis of our being. Not the reaction of relief of finally, Baruch Hashem, we're not guilty anymore. We're in trouble anymore. We solved the problem until the net problem is going to come. It's very dakas dikanekuda. It's the secret of Hanukkah. A small light in the middle of the darkness. And that light is the Mechuvan Gadol. Thanking Kodesh Baruch Hu is this little light in the middle of the darkness. Oil Mabo is that light all over. Right now we say thank you for saving our forefathers, saving us, saving this, doing chesed with this. It's a drop in the middle of the darkness. We can't even fathom actually what a life of pure praise and halal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is all about. That's the pleasure of Olam Haba. If somebody has any kind of appreciation of, a really outstanding artist, athletes, okay? I mean, you get to know, let's say, I don't know, Michael Jordan, I don't know, somebody, and you're like, wow, it's totally unusual, unbelievable, the greatest ever, unbelievable. Imagine you also get to know him, and he's nice to you. Man, you ain't going to stop talking about him at all for a minute. He's so great. He's so unbelievable. He's so this, and he knows, and he makes me feel great. He's a friend of mine. You'll be singing his praises non-stop. You know what I'm saying? He comes, hey, come. This is a me'ain shebeme'ain of how they do it. There's no words to actually explain this. To yearn for halal v'yidur HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're able to see with our own eyes, to have this aspirance of Kadosh Baruch Hu's greatness, the greatness of tzaddikim, the greatness of Torah, that we will spontaneously sing, go out of our, like, whoa, 2 outs, 2 down, 9th inning, a pitch, a home run, like wow, all the time. Because Baruch Hu should help us with Hashem. We'll have Hashem a good chodesh and a good year, and Hashem will be zeichet to see Nisei Nisim Bekora B'Minu Mamash B'Zat Hashem. Kol Tov, V'Tzlacha Rabba. Yep. Stop recording. Stop.